Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you this evening. And first and foremost, as always, positive vibrations out to everybody. Apologies for not having a show on this morning. Your boy tried to wrap up a lot of things he need to take care of with the pending holidays and everything of that nature. But as we all know, on yesterday's show last night, we all know what went down with LeBron James and the flagrant 2 penalty that had him ejected from the game. And I thought there would be suspension to both LeBron and Stewart. I said perhaps on yesterday because I said the NBA is definitely taking serious the flagrant fouls, especially a lot of contact to the head, especially in wake of the lawsuits and everything with ex-players pertaining to the NFL. So, of course, the NBA is going to do whatever they can to protect themselves from a liability suit in any regard with any players coming back to say, well, hey, you didn't try to do anything to protect me. But now they say, no, we have lots of rules in place that protects any kind of contact to the head. And there are serious penalties and consequences to pay for that. And initially I thought that, when I first saw it on the Lakers broadcast, that LeBron was entangled and and I ain't talking about the Will Smith entanglement. I'm talking about, he was wrapped up in the arm of the other player. And what he had to do was just free himself. But actually, when I look at it from several different angles, I think it was a little egregious and probably uncalled for. And I think that is why the league has suspended LeBron James because, they have to send a message. And I know it's LeBron James, and I know a lot of media pundits were saying, well, LeBron James is going to be playing in Madison Square Garden. He only comes there once a year, and trust me, I know whenever LeBron James comes to Memphis, even the Lakers as itself as an organization comes to Memphis, the tickets go up big time, and, he changed the economy. When LeBron James left Cleveland, they said it impacted the economy by hundreds of millions of dollars because of all the people, the tourists that have come in and come to Cavs games and just the business and things that happen downtown and things like that. But at the end of the day, the league is not, and Adam Silver is not going to be held liable, and he not on his watch to where he's going to sit back and allow for a player, even if it is LeBron James. And I know a lot of people said, well, there was precedence, because of LeBron James not having a history of being a dirty player. And of course, there was a lot of different examples that was used. And of course, Skip was all on LeBron this morning on his broadcast saying that, it was terrible. LeBron was just so mad because they were losing, or whatever, which it could have been some frustration that they were behind to a more of a bottom feeder team. But at the end of the day, it was just a 12-point game. It was still the beginning of the third quarter. The Lakers ultimately came back and won. And I don't doubt that they wouldn't have came back and won with LeBron James on the floor as well, because if they did it without LeBron, I trust and believe that they also would have done it with him, although that did create a spark and an attitude. And that's something that I would much rather talk about than the suspension of LeBron James, is the attitude of the Los Angeles Lakers and the way Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis was bumping chests. Skip Bayless, I don't understand. His brain might be so smooth sometimes that his thoughts just don't come together right. But to say, well, they're celebrating like they won a championship. They're celebrating. No, because they bumped chests. No, that's the attitude that we need to see. That is the type attitude that we need to see. And hopefully that's the spark that makes the Los Angeles Lakers come to life. Because if you notice in the post-game presser, Anthony Davis said, we willed ourselves to win this game. We made up in our mind that we was going to win this game. So the mind is very powerful. And when you make up in your mind that you're going to do something, so the Lakers made up in their mind that they was tired of getting disrespected. They was tired of being the hunted, and they decided to become the hunters. So maybe that'll be the spark that they need. Go out and have a damn chip on your shoulder and play with aggression and play with attitude. Anthony Davis, stop settling for 17 and 18-foot jump shots. Go to the paint. Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis at that fourth quarter developed a good chemistry, and I think it's been developing over the past few games where Russell Westbrook has not been the problem. The problem has been the Lakers' defense. And I don't care if it's Detroit or not. In the fourth quarter, they only gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. Now, at halftime, you all know Detroit already had over 60-some points, which is terrible. Going into the fourth, they was already at 98 points, if not 100, if I'm not mistaken. So you give up 100 through three quarters and then you come turn back around and only give up 17, then that's the type of defensive tenacity that the Los Angeles Lakers need to play with. Because I know they lost KCP, I know they lost Caruso, but there's still ball hawks on the Lakers that's capable of playing good defense. And Anthony Davis sure in the hell showed you last night that he was one of them. Especially at the end of the game, his blocks, his denial of people, penetration to the paint in key moments. I mean, it's not him to guard 1 through 5. He doesn't have to take on guards. But at the end of the day, the Lakers guards have to stop letting other guards beat them off the dribble one-on-one early in the clock and then making the rotations late. Because when they beat them early, then the help has to come early, and then they kick it out for open shots. And when they kick it out for the open shot, it's too late for the other person to get over and help. So you have to do a better job keeping your man in front of you. I think they did a better job at that on yesterday, although, like I said, it was the Detroit Pistons. We'll see to be a more of a test tomorrow night in Madison Square Garden down in New York City as they take on the New York Knicks, and they will be without LeBron James. So I know previously I just said that, you know, it warranted a one-game suspension. In my fair opinion, I think they could have gone either way, that maybe they shouldn't have suspended LeBron James. But at the end of the day, the league made a decision, and it doesn't really upset me that they did, just because I think it could have went either way. I do think LeBron James was throwing the elbow, and while I don't think it was intentional to hurt him or hit him necessarily in his face, he was trying to send a message like, bro, get up off me. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like Luther used to say, get on the floor and throw them bows. And I know a lot of people say LeBron couldn't play in the 80s, but you see his physical stature, and that's a big guy. And I know it was an unsuspected hit to the face, and by no means am I saying, you know, that proves LeBron can play in the 80s. But let's not forget, LeBron James was a damn football player. He was a wide receiver. He did go over the middle, and he did take hits. And he was Mr. Football in Ohio. And he was highly recruited, and he could have went to University of Florida or Florida State or many top tier college teams. But of course, he is the chosen one for basketball, and that's what he's going to do. So that's fine. He'll take another game off, and he'll probably be missing a lot of bread because, you know, LeBron James make a lot of money. So one game without pay is, hey, I know it's more than what I'm making a year, but hey, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think it's going to give the Lakers a chance to grow even better with Westbrook. I like what they're doing. I would imagine that they're going to insert THT into the starting lineup with Westbrook again because of LeBron James being out. I think that would be a mistake. I don't think they need to do that. I think THT is better suited at this point in his career and right now for what the Lakers need, for him to continue to come off of the bench. If he can continue to come off of the bench and, you know, even in the absence of LeBron James, maybe get that starting position to maybe a Malik Monk or a Ken Bazemore. I would like to see Bazemore getting a few more playing minutes because he hadn't been getting any. I know they were giving Austin Reeves, the young rookie, a lot of minutes until he got the hamstring injury. So that's interesting that he was getting minutes, but yet Bazemore, more seasoned veteran, was not getting minutes, and he's just as good as a defensive player, if not better than Austin Reeves, although Austin Reeves was hitting open threes, and that's something that Ken Bazemore was struggling with. But the thing is, what Frank Vogel doesn't understand, he's not, by the way he's doing this, is not giving players a chance to get in the rhythm. Golden State can go 12 deep on any given night because they're all getting the same minutes. They're getting time. They're getting the rotation. They know what the game plan is, and they get into a rotation. With Frank Vogel, you go into it one night, and he did the same stuff last year. He did that. Montrezl Harrell might be a scratch one night. Marcus All might be a scratch one night. Hell, he might scratch any damn body. You'd be like, what the hell is he doing? So to me, Frank Vogel, he needs to get his rotations together in order for the Lakers to be successful. Like I said before, and I keep saying I wish Dave Fizdale was the coach. I think he would be better suited to lead the Lakers to a championship. And I'm still standing beside what I say. I know a lot of people, well, they should have blew Detroit out the gym and all of that. Man, it's still early in the season. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's been times where teams started off real slow out the gate and then just came on. I mean, even after All-Star break came on. You know, a team get hot at the right time. That's all they need to take. And that's all it takes to go on a good run. Do you understand what I'm saying? And once the Lakers figure it all out, you have somebody as talented as Anthony Davis because he showed you, because we forget what Anthony Davis, how good he is because he hasn't been showing us that. But once he shows you and he showed the grit and he get the attitude, man, play like that. The way they played in the fourth quarter, play like that every damn quarter. You can't turn it on and turn it off. A lot of great teams do that. The Miami Heat, when LeBron was with them, they used to do that all the time. Just take it easy, turn it on, turn it off. And whenever they back was against the wall, that's when you knew they was going to be a dangerous team. And I think the Lakers have done that as well since LeBron arrival here too. But it's going to be very interesting to see as we progress through the season how the chemistry comes together and what moves, if any, will still be made. A lot of people saying blow it up. I think that as long as Westbrook can continue to dish out assists and penetrate to the paint and get to the free throw line, that's pretty much all the Lakers need from him. Hit an occasional three, kept the turnovers low, only had 3 turnovers, what should have been 2. He had a very, very stupid turnover at the end that I won't say cost the game, but made it a little bit closer than what it should have been. But for the Lakers to come down and be down by that much and come back and win the game, I think is a testament for them. I think they will be ready to go on tomorrow night, on Tuesday, to go out and get a victory. And I'm assuming that that's what they're going to do. And I bet you when LeBron James comes back from that 1-game suspension against, I believe, the Indiana Pacers, he's going to be ready to go. Because technically, I think they playing a back-to-back when they play Tuesday tomorrow night, the Knicks. Then the following day they play Indiana, and then I think they have a day off on Thursday, and then it's back at home Friday against Detroit, if I'm not mistaken, and that'll be a good game. So I'm not sure if Detroit has 2 games where Isaiah Stewart is going to be out for those 2 games. If he'll be in the building, Clutch Sports and other media outlets did say that LeBron James did try to contact Isaiah and find out his number, Isaiah Stewart's number, just so he can reach out to him and, just apologize and say, listen, it wasn't very intentional. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I just wonder if it'll be retaliatory because I know now the NBA does not play. But I remember times where at the beginning of the game, man, go back and look it up if you think I'm lying, where I'll never forget when the chief, the big chief, the chief of the reefer, what's his name, Robert Parrish, just came up, wham, 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 and faded Bill Laimbeer at the start of a game. And they was at the free throw line. And as soon as they came out, they just fop, 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 fop. And if I'm lying, I'm flying and I ain't got no wings. You understand what I'm saying? And go look it up and see. They didn't even call a flagrant foul. It was just a regular common foul. And he fired him up. I'm talking about whop, whop, whop. Probably put a couple of lumps on the back of that dome piece. You understand what I'm saying? But it was just a regular foul. Then if you hadn't seen it, look at when Karl Malone faded Isaiah Thomas. He had to get like 20 stitches above the eye. And Isaiah Thomas started choking his own coach. He was so mad. He was just, I got to choke some damn body. So his coach was trying to calm him down. And he was just like, ooh, I want to kill him. I want to kill Karl Malone. You understand what I'm saying? So I won't say that mucking the game up was like that was better. But it did call for some interesting times because, back then they say players weren't friends, but they were. We seen Michael Jordan riding around with his cigar, even during the playoffs with Danny Ainge out there golfing with him, but you in the playoffs with him. But they want to talk bad about LeBron James. But that's another story for another day. Y'all seen it. And if you haven't tuned into it, The Last Dance Exposed is on the channel. Check it out, man. But anyway, as always, this is your boy B New. Be at y'all in the morning. We're going to preview the Lakers and the Knicks game for tomorrow. Get a rundown of all the news and notes in the NBA and continue with the GOAT countdown. So, as always, this your boy, man. Right on to the real and much love to these haters. I'm out.